Hey everybody, welcome to our channel Living in Richmond, Virginia, where we show you exactly what it's like to live, work, eat, and play right here in our VA.
We jokingly call ourselves the king and queen of Midlothian and Moseley, and that's because a large majority of our sales are in these areas. So in this video, we're going to give you the pros and the cons to living in Moseley and Southern Midlothian.
This will be exactly what we share with our relocation clients who are thinking about buying a home in these areas.
We're going to start with the biggest con and get that out of the way first, but be sure to watch this whole video so that you can decide for yourself if the pros outweigh the cons.
And for a large majority of our relocation clients, they do. If this is your first time to our channel, welcome.
I'm Taylor Jefferson.
And I'm Sarah Jefferson, and we own and operate Jefferson Grove Real Estate.
We are your Richmond relocation experts, and no joke, we've helped families from all over the world relocate to Richmond.
If you're thinking about doing the same, here are 3 things you need to do. First is download our free Richmond Relocation Guide. It is full of useful information all about Richmond and the surrounding areas. The link is in the comments below and on our website.
The second thing to do is to visit our YouTube homepage and look at our playlist that says Start Here. And at a minimum, give the first 2 videos a watch. After doing so, you'll have a much better idea of where you might want to live and where you'll find homes matching your search criteria.
The third thing to do is to explore our other playlists and videos that focus on the areas that are of interest to you. This will greatly speed up your knowledge of Richmond and the surrounding counties.
Now, with all that said, let's dive into the pros and cons of living in Moseley and Southern Midlothian. Before we start with the first con, let me show you on the map where we are talking about. Today's video will focus on the areas southwest of Highway 288 that are close to Otterdale Road, Woolridge Road, and Hull Street. The Moseley area is to the west, and the Southern Midlothian area is along the east of this boundary. For the most part, all of the areas below share the same pros and cons, just to slightly varying extents based on the specific neighborhood. So, here we go. The biggest con to living in this area has to do with dealing with traffic on Hull Street Road and traveling outside of the area. Hull Street is the main commercial route for this area, and it's where you'll find your nearby grocery stores, restaurants, and retail shops. From the southernmost neighborhood traveling to Highway 288, it's a total of 6 miles long, and there are a bunch of stoplights along the way, and a ton of neighborhoods located off of it, so it is a heavily traveled route. Even when it isn't rush hour, you still might get unlucky and hit mostly red lights. I travel this road multiple times every week, so I know firsthand. There are 2 other options to travel north, which are Otterdale Road and Woolridge Road. But if you live in this area at some point or another, I know you'll be dealing with Hull Street, since it's also where the closest grocery stores are located. And if your neighborhood is located off of Hull Street, the further southwest it is, the more you will feel the effects of this con. I actually drove to Magnolia Green on a weekday and exited the neighborhood at 8 a.m. and drove straight up Hull Street to Highway 288 so that I could show you what to expect. Now, I travel along this road a ton, and it's not impossible to deal with. Traffic does flow, but I wouldn't call it fun. If you come from Cali, Atlanta, parts of Texas, New York, or any other larger city, you will probably laugh at what we call traffic. But everything is relative, and not just for you, but also how it relates to other areas around Richmond. So I bring up this con to let you know there are other areas you could live in RVA where you won't have to deal with this level of traffic congestion.
All right. So that was the biggest con, and we really wanted to hammer that home. So given that, what is the biggest pro? Well, if you're looking for brand new construction or more recently constructed homes in general, this area delivers in droves. 9 times out of 10, when one of our relocation clients is looking to build a home or wants something newer, the conversation almost always includes this area. Magnolia Green, Summer Lake, Harper's Mill, Westerly, Tuckmar Farms, Collington East, and a few others all have to-be-built options for you. And let's say you just want something built within the past 10 years. You can find it here too. Over the past 6 months, there were 207 homes built in 2014 or newer that sold in this area, compared to only 69 homes in the Short Pump, Western Glen Allen, and Northern Midlothian areas. There are older, more mature neighborhoods located there too, so it's not all newer construction communities, but by far and large, it's skewed towards newer construction.
The second pro to the Moseley and Southern Midlothian area is that it's cheaper than the areas further north. From the same example of homes built in 2014 and up, the average sold price in Moseley and Southern Midlothian was $612,000, whereas the areas further north, the average sold price was $847,000, and that is a massive cost savings. If the newer year built requirement is firm, it's this exact value proposition that causes our clients to choose the Moseley and Southern Midlothian location time and time again. Add 10 to 15 minutes to your commute and save $235,000. It makes sense. Removing the year built filter and excluding brand new homes, focusing only on resale, the average sold price for Southern Midlothian and Moseley was $493,000 with an average year built of $2,000. And the average sold price for the western suburbs north of here was $675,000 with an average year built of 1992. So to summarize, you get newer and cheaper homes looking in this area compared to the areas further north, and it comes at the cost of your commute and nearby amenities. More on that in a second.
This will be the only time we talk about Hull Street as a pro, but pro number 3 is that you have everything you need for daily living located along Hull Street. You have 2 Publix grocery stores, a Kroger, a Food Lion, an Aldi, a Lowe's, a Walmart shopping center, a Target, a few different gyms, a Home Depot, and a bunch of different restaurants all located along that 6-mile stretch of Hull Street. But back to con number 1, depending on your location, you will deal with some traffic and drive time getting to and from these amenities.
Notice we say Hull Street has everything you need, but it might not have everything you want. So con number 2 is that the nearby commercial amenities aren't as exciting as those offered within the city, Short Pump, or Northern Midlothian. And due to its geographic location, you are further removed from those exciting amenities. You have a bunch more chain restaurants in this area like Longhorn Steakhouse, Texas Roadhouse, Cracker Barrel, etc. Not saying there's anything wrong with those restaurants, it's just that you don't have as many of the unique, locally owned restaurants that put Richmond on the food scene map. Same with unique entertainment options too. So for an evening out, you will have better and more options outside of this area. Now, we are talking about a 15 to 30 minute drive depending on where you are and where you're headed. So it's not like it's the end of the world, but if you're looking to be in the thick of the action, this isn't the area for you.
Now, Taylor and I openly admit that the season of our life where you want to be in the thick of the action is over for us, at least for a while. We have 2 daughters. Ava is almost 5 and our youngest, Brooke, just turned 1. When you have kids, your priorities change. So pro number 4 is that this area is incredibly family friendly for many different reasons. The first is that a vast majority of the neighborhoods in this area all have HOA provided amenities, including pools, clubhouses, sidewalks, trails, playgrounds, and the HOAs that are very socially active. If you are new to an area, these large master plan communities with these types of amenities are a great way for your kids to make new friends. And a lot of these newer construction neighborhoods are magnets for young families for that reason. Magnolia Green is pretty much the Disney World of neighborhoods for families. In a video we made last year, Taylor joked that if you throw a rock in some of these neighborhoods, you will hit a kid. So please don't throw rocks. But it's the truth. These neighborhoods are also much safer than the areas that are in the thick of the action in the city. Plus, Harper's Mill and Magnolia Green both have an elementary school in the neighborhood, and Westerly is having a new middle school built right behind it. Harper's Mill is why we have our youngest. Taylor was in the neighborhood showing homes the elementary school let out, and there were a ton of little kids walking down the sidewalk together with their friends or parents, skipping down the road, pigtails flailing, and Taylor called me up and said, "Let's do it, have another kid." And we are so glad that we did, so thank you, Harper's Mill. Lastly, there are some very family-friendly things to do nearby, including the Richmond Metro Zoo, the Chesterfield Children's Museum, and Uptown Alley, which is a crazy nice bowling alley.
Speaking of schools, pro number 5 is that most of the schools in this area are top rated, especially those that feed into the Cosby High School District. Cosby is rated as an 8 out of 10, and it is highly sought after and many times a motivating factor for a real estate move. That said, along the eastern side of this area, some of the neighborhoods feed into Manchester High, which is not well rated at all. Manchester's only rated a 4 out of 10, and not that the ratings are the end-all be-all truth, and we take those with a grain of salt, but usually anything with a score of below a 5, well, there's probably a reason for it, so we are grading on the curve.
So, here is the third con, and it especially applies to the newer construction master plan communities. They are pretty cookie cutter. You are typically going to find craftsman-style homes situated on pretty clear-cut quarter-acre to third-of-an-acre lots, many of which back up directly to another home's backyard. It's possible to try to find a cul-de-sac lot where that doesn't apply, but by far and large, it's the norm. There are some exceptions to the rule though. Foxfire and Foxcroft will deliver beautiful yards and curb appeal, plus lots that are usually a little bit bigger with a sliver of privacy. However, the houses themselves are older, so that's the give and take. If you want a yard with more mature landscaping or slightly larger, you are probably looking at homes that are not new/newer. Woodlake and Brandermill will also deliver much more mature yards and more privacy than most suburbs, but those two neighborhoods come with its own specific cons.
So, let's get into some cons associated with specific neighborhoods, and we'll start with Woodlake and Brandermill. Now, every time I bring this up, I get roasted in the comments, but these two neighborhoods are very prone to foundation problems due to shrink-swell soil. There's always some internet comment warrior who tries to tell me that I haven't seen what I have seen. But whenever I show homes in these neighborhoods, I am always on high alert for foundation problems, and these neighborhoods rarely let me down in that regard. I'm in a crawl space in Brandermill, and normally I'd be excited to see this much vapor barrier going all up the walls. But it's Brandermill, and I like to be able to check the foundations for signs of settlement cracks. But it's tougher because it's all the way up the wall. Except this one section right here. And what do we have right there? Also, this vapor barrier is not necessarily performing its job very well. It smells like a ton of cats have died down here, and there's mold all over the floor joists. Woodlake is one of those neighborhoods where I'm always on high alert for foundation issues. This home also has hardboard siding, so I'm going to walk around the exterior. I'm going to check out the siding, see what type of condition it's in. I'm also going to look at the foundation, the brick skirt around the foundation, look for signs of settlement, some cracks. I've already kind of done a quick glance, noticed some spots, and then in the pictures online, it looks like above a couple of the door frames and windows, they'd sanded, not plaster, but they did some drywall touch-up, sanding and painting, and you can see that the paint doesn't match exactly. So again, I'm on high alert for foundation problems here. So I'll probably poke my head in the crawl space at some point, and I'll take you down there and show you what's up. So I'm about to go into the crawl space, and I'm already not that excited about it. I can hear the cricket spiders jumping around in here. There's a couple on the wall. There's one jumping over there. It's time to go earn that money. Although I'm probably not gonna be selling this house because I'm probably gonna be talking them out of it due to the foundation stuff. Not stoked about this. Yeah, you see that one right there? Ugh. God bless America. All right. If you hear a woman screaming, it's me. All right, so we got some vertical cracking there. Nope. Right there. You can actually see somebody's known about this and has come back through and sealed up a lot of these and repointed them. You can see that mortar line is different, so that there's been settlement, there's been some issues. Maybe they've taken care of it. But again, you can see like right there, the mortar lines are different. I'm not saying that every single home is plagued with foundation problems, but it's prevalent enough for me to bring it up to you. And if you don't believe me, call a home inspector and ask what neighborhoods they've seen the most foundation problems in. I promise these will top the list. For the neighborhoods located off of the southern end of Otterdale Road, such as Summer Lake and Westerly, there isn't natural gas available, and these homes have buried propane tanks supplying them. Usually the propane operates a first floor heating, gas cooking, hot water heater, and a gas fireplace. But take it from me, propane is more expensive than natural gas. Our house has a buried propane tank that services all of those same systems, and we currently pay about $120 a month on our payment plan. Not a budget breaker, but something to be aware of, and definitely more expensive than natural gas.
So this last one is both a pro and a con, depending on how you look at it. This area is going to continue to be developed, especially the areas west of Otterdale Road. Lots of future neighborhoods are planned, as well as future roadways and new schools. The upcoming Powhite extension will help ease traffic along Hull Street and create new ingress and egress points for the area. But it could be a net neutral event because as more residential houses are built, that will create more traffic. There will also be more commercial development coming up in the area too, which could bring more of the exciting restaurants and entertainment options. Honestly, business owners searching for new locations would be silly to ignore this area as development continues. There is plenty of money waiting to be spent here.
So, to wrap up, if you're looking for newer construction, family-friendly neighborhoods with HOA-provided amenities, or even some more established neighborhoods with lower prices than you'll find elsewhere,
and you're okay dealing with extra traffic / longer commute times compared to other suburbs, this is a very good area to search within.
if you don't care about school systems, or you're okay with older homes, or you want to be in close proximity to some of the best commercial amenities, then this isn't the best place for you to look.
At the end of the day, it comes down to where you give weight to each of your search criteria priorities. priorities.
Everything is always a balance of the pros and the cons.
And it's about finding what the best balance of them is for you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and if you have any questions about the area, just reach out to us.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos.
If you are thinking about relocating to the Richmond area,
be sure to hit us up. We have the knowledge and expertise to help make your move as stress-free and easy as possible.
Thanks for being here with us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.